one of the things that's actually kind of interesting we see a lot of is, especially with a lot of these kind of IT workers that are North Korean IT workers, just kind of overemployment. We have people that are kind of looking up IPs of where their applications are coming from. We see kind of where their Zoom sessions are being established from. And one of the things we kind of start to notice, which is also interesting, is we start to see a lot of people that are using some of these services for their like their Synology devices, their NAS devices, where it's just pointing back to their home IPs. But the really interesting thing is we have also seen people start to use this to almost use it as a way to kind of track where someone is working from. If they're cycling through different IPs, we can start to say, okay, you know what, they applied right now. I'm going to keep an eye on this one because some of these, in this case, they've had the same IP for a couple of years, but some of these are things that we can start to look at and say, okay, I want to know, I have this quick connect domain. What else did they use? If it's, maybe a little bit longer of a list, they have an ISP that maybe rotates IPs a little bit faster. Maybe I want to just use that and say, hey, I want to start to just see, I see one suspicious application. Maybe I'll just kind of start poking around a little bit and see what else can I find, because they have, one of these kind of dynamic DNS services that's updating, always kind of pointing to where they're operating from. So in this case, this is kind of a fun one that we can use. But the other thing we can use, if we go back into our web search, this is where we can also start to find some other fun things, where in this case, we kind of have our regular ports that we're scanning. And we did find at the start of the year, they did have a tiny pilot device. So something that would allow remote access as well, something we do actually see with North Korean actors as well. So again, if I do have something like a suspicious application that came in, or maybe we're just kind of looking for some of these things, the web search in here, it does give us a lot of ways where we can kind of pivot through some of this data. One, on the DNS side, where we can kind of maybe have an idea if it is something that's rotating a little bit more frequently, kind of where this is always pointing to. But two, we can also have a little bit of an idea of what was running on here. If this was an application that got flagged, maybe this is something that I do want to take a little bit closer of a look at, because in this case I can start to see Tiny Pilot is running. Maybe we give it another look. So again, using some of the quick looks in here that we can say, yeah, this maybe is something we want to focus on a little bit more. One of the more kind of interesting ones that did show up was this one here. So this was another quick connect domain. Someone had seen this IP, which was fantastic when they shared this. So we said, all right, let's same kind of idea. Application came in. Let's pivot off of this quick connect domain and see what else we can find. So same kind of idea, except in this case, this one, you always have to do something fun like this in a demo. This one's very easy to tell that it was probably used by North Korean at one point, because the last IP that was pointing to was a North Korean IP address. So kind of gives it away really quickly when people make mistakes like that. But again, gives us different ways where we can kind of, if we are just kind of, looking at something, how can we use some of these tools just to get a quick idea to say, yeah, you know what, something's not adding up here. In this case, maybe this is an applicant that I actually really would want to talk to. But we can just use some of those kind of quick pivots and some of the data we're collecting, really just for making some of those decisions.